Good morning, class of 2010 of Westport Lutheran. It's Saturday, and today my topic is education and development. And when I mean education, I'm talking about lower levels of education, namely elementary, middle school, for reasons that will become obvious later. But first, I have to go take the SAT subject test in US history. How fun. I have no idea how hard or how easy it's going to be. This is the one thing about video watching. You viewers are lucky. In about 30 seconds, you're going to see exactly what I thought of it, because I'm going to be vlogging about it when it's over. I, on the other hand, have to wait several hours and actually go through the process of test taking until I find out. Sometimes I wished I lived in the video world, or at least had a time machine. I'll see you later. Well, that was the hardest history test I've ever taken. It'll work out somehow. So 8th graders, I know that some of you just got back from Washington, D.C. late last night. I hope that trip was fun, as it always is. Usually is. So I'd like to get started on discussing the topic of how lower levels of education influence who we become in the future. And the reason I've picked this topic for today is because later today, in the afternoon or at night, sometime, I'm actually speaking at your Partners in Faith service about what was I supposed to talk about? What was I supposed to talk about again? Okay, I'll figure it out. But anyway, education. Let's see. I think that the things that we learn in grade school, middle school even, really have a heavy impact on who we become, because when we're young, or when we're younger, our neural connections are just starting to form, and we really pick up on what we learn and experience. But there are some people that argue that even in the future, despite everything that we've experienced, we can still choose, since we have that, willpower, if you will. We can still choose who we are as a person, and choose the things that we believe in. But the only problem with that argument is that our decision-making schema itself, it's also influenced by what we learn when we're younger. And the reason that it's so important to get, a decent education at least, or if not education, at least some kind of instilling of values when you're younger, is so you can become, an acceptable person in society when you're older. I don't know, I don't really have a lot to say about this topic. But I'll try to get my speech tonight on vlog, so you guys can look forward to that too. Well, I've noticed that people who've left Westport have actually, diverged into a number of different paths. Some people have really changed. I mean, that's fine. Some people are kind of like me, who don't really change much. I don't know why, really, how that works. Change. Oh, another topic to add to my list. Okay. Well, the reason that a more traditional kind of education and value instilling might be good is that, well, as I said before, it's kind of redundant, but as you learn to grow up and make your own decisions and suffer those consequences, good or bad, then, well, you'll have some kind of schema to know which decisions to make, which paths to take. Of course, it can also be bad, because if an education isn't as progressive, then it doesn't really catch on to the new things that pop up in society. Yeah, I'm really not being myself right now. This happens after I take a really hard test and know that I haven't actually done that well. Hopefully this kind of post-test jitteriness will end soon. Yeah, I was just planning to spend the rest of the day doing nothing. I don't know, maybe I should start studying for APs, but I don't know. I've already taken enough tests for today. So I guess I did have something else to do.
Hey, it's the singing day.
Yeah, my parents have this sort of business meeting. I'm here in Millbrae right now, and well, I don't know. Oh, I still have to write my speech like any prepared Lowell student. I write my speeches just a few hours before I have to give them. Oh, this is Julius, one of my family friends. This is not a good place to sit. Come on.
Now 350 to bid now. $300 looking at 350 now. Can you do it for 3.5? Last chance for 350 going once, twice, and sold. 300 the number.
School and church faculty, members of West Portal Lutheran, parents, and class of 2010, good evening. My name is David Kwok. I'm a junior and 11th grader at Lowell High School, and I was a 2007 graduate here at West Portal. Wow, you know, it was only 3 years ago that I was sitting where you were sitting, getting ready to graduate and start high school. I still remember towards the end of my school year, in Mr. Jacobs' German class, we watched Jurassic Park. Not in German, but in English. For what reason, I don't remember. I still remember Mr. Morris's witty jokes and strict enforcement of correct grammar. And of course, I still remember watching those ancient film strips in Mr. Holt's American History class. And I remember that the world map in that classroom still had the Soviet Union on it. I wonder if it's still there. But more importantly, I want to share with you some of the feelings that I had back then about leaving West Portal and going on to high school. And maybe you can relate to some of those feelings. On one hand, I was sad to leave the place where I've been attending since kindergarten, the place where I grew up and learned about God and met many of my close friends. But on the other hand, I was actually very excited and anxious to leave this place because I wanted to have new experiences and learn to make my own decisions. And I think I can safely say that many of you 8th graders are looking forward to the same things. I can tell you that in high school, you're going to encounter an overwhelming amount of freedom and many different influences. Some of them good, some of them bad. In high school, you will have to learn to take responsibility for your actions, and you're going to have to learn when to say no to friends and sometimes even to teachers. High school is certainly a lot of fun because it's a time to be yourself and to pursue the things that you enjoy. But it's also a time for you to remember and apply all the core values, integrity, and faith that you picked up here from West Portal. Now, I heard recently that many of you were accepted to Lowell High School, the school I go to, and plan to attend there. And that's great. Lowell is a school stereotypically for nerdy people who stay up until 2 a.m. in the morning, juggling around 4 or 5 AP classes. And one of the main challenges that I've had at Lowell is prioritizing when I'm too caught with schoolwork, tests, or extracurricular activities. I sometimes don't leave enough room or time in my life for God. And for me, West Portal has really been a place where I'm always welcome back, especially when I'm discouraged about something, and a place where I can stay connected strongly to the foundations that I've built here through God and through supportive friends and teachers. And students, if you've learned nothing else at West Portal, if you don't remember a single word of German or Spanish, if you can't diagram sentences correctly ever again, if you don't remember a single event that happened in US history, or if you don't even remember how to calculate 1 plus 1, then just remember this much. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Thank you. I hope I didn't embarrass myself too much on that, but ooh.